اللهم صل على محمد. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد.
الله أكبر 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 ما تقرب العبد بقربان الله أكبر ما رغب العابدون في الغفران الله أكبر ما حمده الإنس والجان الله أكبر ما جرت الكواكب بحسبان الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الحمد لله الذي خص بالحج ذا الحجة وحط الذنوب عمن قصد فيه البيت الحرام وحجه وعظم الأجر لمن أظهر فيه التكبير وعجه وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله الذي كساه من حلل النبوة والبهجة اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ما حمل سحاب ماء ومجه فيا عباد الله اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Dear beloved Jama'ah, today is the day of gratitude and taqwa, another opportunity to witness the blessed days of Zulhijjah. Let us be reminded of the true meaning of sacrifice, of taqwa and ihsan, namely good acts in compassion and generosity. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd. My honorable fellow Jama'ah, when we give with compassion and generosity or ihsan, and when we receive with gratitude. And when we sacrifice with a sense of taqwa and ihsan. Remember that true sacrifice is to sacrifice the greed in ourselves, to sacrifice our selfishness by prioritizing collective interest over personal interests. All these we perform with ihsan, or goodness and benevolence, with generosity and grace, and with utmost mercy. This ihsan would mean preserving world peace and environmental well-being. This is one of the most important roles as humans, especially as Muslims, as the khalifah or the stewards of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this earth. And this protection of the environment forms an essential part of our faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created us in this universe. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Eid al-Adha reminds us of the true meaning of sacrifice in order to achieve universal peace and well-being. All this is done with full goodness, benevolence, and mercy. The momentous event of Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam sacrifice makes it clear to Muslims and to the rest of the world that nothing is too precious to be sacrificed when Allah's call comes and when it leads to a greater good. The blood that flows from the slaughtered animal is a profound depiction of what we as the Khalifa or the vicegerents on this earth need to sacrifice. Despicable traits that corrupt the human soul, such as selfishness and the neglect of humanitarian values, will only cause destruction to life and the environment. The ritual sacrifice that we perform every year aims to strengthen the hearts that are pious and that are good. Pay attention to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Hajj. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لن ينال الله لحومها ولا دماؤها ولكن يناله التقوى منكم. That neither their meat nor their blood reaches Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but what reaches him is your taqwa. كذلك سخرها لكم لتكبروا الله على ما هداكم. Thus we have subjected these animals to you so that you may glorify Allah to which He has guided you. وَبَشِّرِ الْمُحْسِنِينَ, and give good tidings to those who do ihsan, or those who do good. Indeed, dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of everything. And in His wisdom, He has created and made ihsan obligatory in everything, even in performing the qurban or the slaughtering. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in a hadith, "Inna Allah azza wa jal kataba al-ihsan ala kulli shay." That verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed ihsan, which is goodness and compassion, in everything. فَإِذَا قَتَلْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الْقِتْلَةِ. So when you kill during wartime, then kill with ihsan, in a compassionate manner. وَإِذَا ذَبَحْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الذِّبْحَةِ. And when you slaughter, then slaughter with ihsan. وَلْيُحِدَّ أَحَدُكُمْ شَفْرَتَهُ وَلْيُرِحْ ذَبِيحَتَهُ. And let each one of you sharpen his blade, and let him comfort the animal that he slaughters. Subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed ihsan in everything. And the message of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for us is to demonstrate ihsan in our interactions with everything on earth, animals, plants, humans, and the environment. All of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلِلَّهِ الْحَمْدِ. My dear brothers and sisters, as explained in the ayah that was recited, what reaches Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not the meat nor the blood of the sacrificial animal. Rather, what reaches Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our taqwa and our ihsan. We must embrace this true spirit of sacrifice and qurban. When human greed has caused immeasurable destruction of life, environment, and the climate, we must hold ourselves responsible and be prepared to sacrifice our greed. Our taqwa to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with regard to the environment and climate, and having ihsan to the environment and climate, means that we have to preserve this environment and climate for the benefit of us and the benefit of future generations. As pious and good Muslims, are we not taken aback by the recent research findings that over the past 2 centuries, the hottest temperatures were recorded were in the past 10 years, and that the year 2023 was recorded as the hottest temperature in recorded history? On a personal level, without realizing, we may even be contributing to this problem. In Singapore alone, it was reported that 813,000 tons of food waste was discarded in 2022, and this number has only been increasing over the past few years. This has negatively impacted and polluted the environment. Even though recycling efforts are being carried out, only 18% of food waste is recycled. Some of us may think that the issue of climate change and of global warming has nothing to do with religion, and that even if it does, it is only considered as signs of the end times. They believe that all of this is Allah's decree or taqdeer, and that humans cannot prevent it from happening. But truly, as faithful believers, we hold that this phenomenon is Allah's decree. However, as faithful believers also, we believe that we have a role to be at the forefront of addressing this challenge. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. My beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, sacrificing our greedy and selfish attitudes, in enjoying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings without limits, will preserve life and the well-being of the environment. In this way, we will be able to leave behind a better environment than the environment we found for our grandchildren and for future generations. This is the true sacrifice. This is taqwa and this is ihsan. Remember, dear brothers and sisters, that this world does not belong to us. It is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Creator, has entrusted to us. The central principle of ihsan or benevolence in a Muslim's life should drive us as Muslims to act now, not only to act when the damage has already occurred, as we are witnessing now. The world has already been adversely affected. Countries like Egypt have recorded temperatures exceeding 50 degrees Celsius. Other countries have reported cases of heat stroke resulting in death. Imagine if the heat increases to extreme levels, will we still have the strength to walk to the masjid for salah? What about the Hajj pilgrims who will be exposed to extreme heat during the wuquf and other rituals? We truly hope that we can view this issue through a religious lens and with responsibility, not just from a health and economic perspective. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. My beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, let us aim to act with ihsan in everything. Let us make the resolution to sacrifice despicable traits such as greed, selfishness, and prioritizing ourselves. This is the true sacrifice. We are aware that preserving world peace and environmental well-being is an act of ibadah and is among one of our most important roles as the khalifah or the stewards of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this earth. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our acts of qurban and sacrifice. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala purify our souls to be closer to Him and make us among His pious and righteous servants. And may He grant us love for Him and love for His prophets and love for all righteous deeds that bring us closer to Him. Ameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.
اللهم صل وسلم وزد وأدم وأنعم وتفضل وبارك بجلالك وكمالك على زين عبادك وأشرف عبادك سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم ورضي الله تبارك وتعالى عن كل صحابة رسول الله أجمعين.
الله أكبر، الله أكبر، الله أكبر، الله أكبر، الله أكبر، الله أكبر. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا كما أمر، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد، فيا عباد الله، اتقوا الله تعالى فيما أمر وانتهوا عما نهاكم عنه وزجر. ألا صلوا وسلموا على النبي المصطفى، فقد أمرنا الله بذلك حيث قال في كتابه العزيز: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد، وارض اللهم عن الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين ساداتنا أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي، وعن بقية الصحابة والقرابة والتابعين وتابع التابعين، وعنا معهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم ادفع عنا البلاء والوباء والزلازل والمحن ما ظهر منها وما بطن عن بلدنا خاصة وعن سائر البلدان عامة يا رب العالمين. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين في غزة وفي فلسطين. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين في غزة وفي فلسطين. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين في غزة وفي فلسطين وفي كل مكان عامة يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم بدل خوفهم أمنا وحزنهم فرحا وهمهم فرجا يا رب العالمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم واسألوه من فضله يعطكم ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأولى وأعز وأجل وأهم وأتم وأكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.
صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.